Hi, folks. This is Jim Utrakis with potbowling.com again. Last time we were on part two. Let's look at part three where we explore all the additional information we have over here. I want to kind of go over these buttons. Of course, you can do them by yourselves. There's no big deal to it. I don't have any passwords. This is a proof of concept, and everything's free. There's no prizes, just bragging rights. So this is a little story about me over 30 years ago. Olivia Trachis was my wife at the time, and she started the first lady scratch events here in Charleston, South Carolina. She's very active in the community, and of course, I used to bowl with her, but I could never beat her. She was just too good. Anyway, this little section here tells you a little bit about why I did this. Okay. Obviously, you hope that someday you make a little money out of it. But at the time, I realized that league bowling, if you didn't have a chance to win towards the end of the season, interest kind of fell off. People didn't show up. They didn't meet their league commitments, etc. Well, I felt like if there was something else that you could do, you could add a little enhancement to your league bowling. And even though you didn't have a chance to win on your league, you always had a chance to win on a pot bowling. So that's what I did. So I did this, and I also did in golf, by the way. I'm still working on that. Um, what I did is I laid out some specific goals. The big one is to provide an incentive to bowlers to bowl and establish sanctioned league, and that's important right there, through the complete season. Proprietors should be happy about that. I wanted to encourage expansion of league participation, and it had to be fair, okay? And offer cash payouts on a daily basis, and with the potential of cash payouts in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, folks. Right now, I'm only demonstrating up around 8,000 bowlers, but what if it was 80,000? There are 80,000 league bowlers out there. There's more than 80,000. Can you imagine if they all signed up for pot bowling and we got it going one winner take it all? That'd be a lot. You have to demonstrate to industry leaders that new ideas and old concepts can come together to offer a totally new bowling experience within their industry. Bowling proprietors of the Association of America, are you listening? This thing here could really do something about the industry. We got to get it going. What can we do to accomplish the goal? Design a tournament that is linked to league bowling whose format would excite bowlers of all skill levels. And I mean all skill levels, from the beginner to the accomplished. Ultimately, we can have bowlers from all around the world. Can you imagine that? It runs on a daily basis right now. How would it work? Well, we talk about this in the rules. I mean, it's pretty simple. You're going to take your average, what you roll, you subtract from your average, and that's either above or over your average, and then add it to your other three teammates. The only thing we do a little different is we calculate the handicap based on the 7 games divided by 7. So what's the keys to the success of the idea? Well, I'm 70 years old, folks. My mouth doesn't work quite right. Acceptance of the concept by the bowling community. Well, if you guys don't like it, and that's who I'm talking about here, is you guys. If you don't like it, it's not going to go anywhere. But if this idea intrigues you, then what I'd really like you to do is participate. Go over to first time registration, sign up. You only got to do that one time. Well, one more time when we go for live, then we're going to require you to put your USBC ID in there. But then sign up for an event. Make one up if you're not really bowling. Post a score. Look at what happens on the winner's circle. See if you got bragging rights. Call your friends. Tweet your friends. Tell them on your Facebook. That's the only way we're going to spread the word, okay? We've got to change the bowler's perception that the tournament cannot be rigged or tricked. And folks, if you think you can rig this thing, you're welcome to try. I have all kinds of little things in here. If I look at your in the real world, I'm not going to validate or verify anything during the promotion and the demonstration. Uh, but afterwards, yeah, I've got all kinds of stuff on the back end that I'm going to be looking at. I've got multiple layers of award opportunity every night you bowl in your league. Remember, it's based on your league or your tournament, USBC sanctioned. Okay. Now there is one possibility that might be a little different from the USBC, and that is if the house that you roll in has empty time and they want to create a pot bowling league. Now, a pot bowling league could be a simple thing. That is, on an off night, if you have more than 4 bowlers come in, you can set up a pot bowling league. And now those folks are bowling with their buddies, but they're also contributing their scores into the pot bowling. So we got somebody at the house that's going to record their scores on the machine that tracks the scores, and there'll be a record of it. Okay, so that's the house can do that. The bowling proprietor can do that. That will enhance the empty league, the lanes that they may have. But that's one thing they can do. One of the things I'd like to do is have qualification for real tournaments, something out of Las Vegas or maybe Disney World or in Orlando, and maybe take the top teams that won over a few weeks, set aside a little bit of money from each event entry, and get them to go and meet each other and bowl with each other against other winners, and let them have some fun. Maybe win some extra bucks. Super pot. Well, that may come, it may not come. This is important. Bowlers of all skill levels will share in the cash payouts equally. On a 4-person team, you divide the prize by 4. Everybody gets an equal share. And the members have an input into tournament rules. Yes, we will have that ability after, let's say, 2 years. We'll have a review of the rules, and we'll see how the bowling community likes or dislikes certain rules, and we'll have a committee that will take a look at them and modify them if necessary. We want to have the ability to seamlessly and immediately transmit information from the bowling center to us, and that involves the telescores. The industry has that ability right now, but they don't need it because there's no event, no tournament like it that needs the output from those telescore. Well, if there's enough incentive for us to get direct report from the telescore on people who signed up for pot bowling, we don't even have to verify your scores. It's done through the telescore. Okay. We've got to get the bowling proprietors, the league officials, and industry leaders. Here again, BPAA, are you listening? In launching the concept. 30 years ago, the infrastructure required to accomplish all this just wasn't there. We would have had to have the proprietors have their counter people and a computer and accept registration, accept the signing up, collecting the fees, awarding the fees. It just wasn't practical, and I found that out. So that's when this thing became idle. But now, with the advent of smartphones, you can sign up, you can post your scores, you can check the thing through your smartphone. And I'll show you a little bit about how you can acquire that information to load your smartphone with a way to get to us. Okay? So let's go back to the additional information. Here are the FAQs. FAQs is places like this. You can go in here. If you're a professional bowler, yeah. If you've got if you're have a way to track you, your USBC member ID or PBA ID, you're welcome. You'd be a captain. Okay. So anyway, this is how you go through the FAQs. You're free to read all that. Back to additional information. The proprietors page. What's in it for me? Ding, 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 ding. BPAA. Well, obviously, I'm interested in getting the bowling industry back on track. You guys all know that it's a tough time against video games and other attractions beyond the bowling community. When I started this thing, there were 5,600 bowling centers. There's a lot less now. But I think with this tournament, with the enhancement, with the ability to win cash, I think we're going to get a resurgence of bowlers, not saying since the 50s. I want you to think about that long and hard. I need help getting this concept going. I'm willing to turn over most of the operations of the event to an industry giant like the BPAA. But if I have to, I could go to AMF or Brunswick or any of the others that may be interested in either sponsoring this thing or having some sort of partnership with me. I'd like it to be BPAA or USBC. It's up to you guys. Think about it. The rules. Everybody has to live by rules. Well, pot bowling tournament's no exception. I've got the rules all laid out here. What's going to be interesting is you're going to see the details of the scope of what I can do here. I can have divisions. And here again, these rules are not in concrete. We can modify them. For example, I don't yet have a singles pot bowling. Everything right now is based on teams. But here's the subdivisions. I can have a state or province. I can have a time zone. I can have by countries. Let's say Spain or Germany, if they want an event just within Germany, or Japan or China. I mean, they've got bowling centers in China now. The Mideast, I mean, all Australia. We can have, when we go to the world, we'll have bowling centers from everywhere. And so long as they are in compliance with the United States Bowling Congress rules, sanctioning body, then we'll allow bowling centers and their leagues that are sanctioned from around the world. And then we're going to have astronomical events. Now, these are in addition to our national event that I'm demonstrating now. I'm not at the state level or the time zone level or region or the world. I'm just illustrating the national level and what that can be. And that's pretty big just in itself, okay? Now, right now, I've got a winner take all and a one winner for every 40, but I could just as easily have additionally ratios. One winner for every 1,000. One winner for every 2,000. I could, it's all up to you guys. And those can be put across each one of these. So I can have two events in the state, but I could have, and I can have different fees. Right now it's $6. I could have a 6, I could have a 10, a 20, a 50. I mean, the possibilities are endless, folks. It's all up to what you want to do. All right, so there's the entry fee, $6. Let's get the singles prize distribution. Well, there's a way I do it. I call it the sum of the numbers. It's down here. Here again, folks, I don't want to bore you a whole lot. You can read this. All you got to do is scroll down in here, and you'll get all that information. About us. Well, there's no us. There's me, James L. Utrakis. I called it Worldwide Sports Promotions back there. I don't know if I can still do that. You can always reach me at webmaster@potbowler.com. I'm the tournament director. I created the doggone thing, so that's what I get to be. You'll find in my, this is kind of a summary of my history. I started off in the Air Force in 1964, and they trained me on flight simulation. And that's where I got my digital background. The Air Force trained me. Back then, we had everything was in base 8. Now it's base 64. So, I don't know. But I've done work in the nuclear power industry. I've done data conversions for Sprint, for Southern Bell Corporation. I worked on H&R Block with a data warehousing implementation. I've In the nuclear power industry, I worked at TVA and Ontario Power Generation.